I've tried to do this morning. We're gonna make it work. How's everybody doing? Do say hello in the chat. Let me get that working. Live chat. If I have to abruptly end, then I have to abruptly end. But I have a nice little joint. I'm gonna talk with you guys. Yay, I see my notifications are coming in. I think the last one wasn't public. I don't know. I'm learning this whole thing. I usually use StreamYard, but today I thought I would come in and just try out the features, see how it's going. So, I have a little bit of a headache this morning. I feel like it's off tilter. Hold on. Is that better? Excuse my closet. Do you like my tree? I need to paint this. We're over-examining it. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? Yesterday was Did I really grab a lighter? That isn't gonna work. Well then, hold on. Okay, I gotta get that. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, that will have to work. Okay. And let me crawl my little tired mommy self. Okay. So hopefully I won't have to abruptly end this, but I'm going to try to light this, have a little chit chat with you guys this morning. So I just want to make an announcement. As of tomorrow, I expect my co-host to be back on schedule with us. We are working things out. I don't know where my lighter is right now. We have to torch it. Is it gonna work? We're gonna say old school, forget the tip, it's not working. There we go. So, yesterday was Halloween. I dressed up like a little kitty cat. If you haven't seen my community post, well then you haven't seen it. Kitty cat, it was easy. I wasn't really in the spirit of dressing up yesterday, but I did it for my son. He was a skeleton. So funny though, because every time he took off his mask and we would go to houses, he'd be like, I'm a halfway decomposition of a human. My son is too silly. He'd be like the skin and there's so many good videos I'm going to be editing soon related to Aspen that I did last Friday. And it was a photo shoot I did, and I took a lot of B-roll. So if you don't know what B-roll is, it's more extra footage to add into things later down the road or to make the emotional expression you want. So I took a lot of B-roll of the beautiful Aspen location, along with some trick-or-treaters' front yards that I have some plans with. And then somebody had this amazing, I can't show you guys, I'm on my phone right now. Somebody had this amazing projector that had like the hands sliding off the windows, you know. So if I'm correct, I can use InShot. If you don't know what that is, I'll put down below where you guys can find it and check it out yourself. Try the trial, try the free, or go with the full activated, because it's full activated. I've had it for like 6 years, and 5 years at least. And it's wonderful. But you can zoom in on things, blow it up, and all the other fun stuff. So, let me see if I can see the chat. I don't know how to see the chat. So if you're saying hello, say hello in the chat. But yeah, I took a lot of video, a lot of photos. I have major ideas planned and only a few things started with the editing. So pretty excited. Start kind of getting that going. Today I expected for my son to be back in school. He's not, because they're doing parent-teacher conference. So we had the whole icicles at the bus stop kind of moment, if you know what I mean. Like I took a hot shower this morning, ran out to the bus stop, and my hair was literally icicles. So then I drove my son down to the school. I was like one of one other person that was there. We all thought school was today. No. I was like, why didn't they leave a note on the door? Like, just didn't get that memo. And I went to a parent-teacher conference yesterday for my son, and the teacher was even confused herself because she point blank was like, I'll see you tomorrow to my child. So my days are mixed up because I thought I was going to have more time to start really diving into all that content. Not today. And then I will admit that I am putting together my production studio a little bit more every day. I finally got the keyboards and all the synths organized yesterday. So if I'm correct, the way I have it set up is in my plant room where I do all my, I have a living wall in my living room, like for real living wall. If you want to check that out, go look at Chronically Design. That's my Instagram where I put all the very interesting stuff. I need to do more photos regularly. I finally, since I did this Aspen photo shoot I did, finally was able to use my camera, my 21 megapixel. I have a Canon NX30 and the thing is gorgeous, but it's a learning curve. You can't just point and shoot without little tiny adjustments. So there is like smart mode and stuff like that, but that's cheating. I use my iPhone for things like that. This camera is about to make the quality so much better when it comes to all the content, not just visual here, but visual in my Instagram, even my TikTok, because the thing I do love doing is morphing photos, morphing video. And like I said, I feel like InShot has just sincerely improved massively over time. They used to just be like a basic editor, very close to Movie Maker if you had an Android. But now, I will say that you can push it to some of the most professional software I've ever used. Like it's probably more powerful than Adobe, and that's saying a lot. Like Final Cut itself is great, but there are some limitations. Just like Movie Maker, it crashes a lot of the time. With InShot, I don't get that. In fact, if my phone turns off, it always saves it accurately. I've never had to re-edit. I have so many rough versions of videos. It's fabulous. So, but anyway, so stay tuned for all that fun stuff. It's coming. It's coming. Like I said, starting tomorrow, because my son goes back to school tomorrow, so hopefully when things start getting back on track, I expect to continue to do these pop-ups in the morning and then kind of adjust my schedule in the evening with conversations, sometimes leading from the morning conversation with my co-host, or on the solo days, because we had a nice little meeting yesterday. On the solo days, we're going to be eventually giving her access, my co-host, to use my channel if possible, or her own, or my StreamYard, somehow work it together so you guys can have some interesting conversations that she'll also like to share. So in the meantime, I really want to build up her channel. So if you guys could do me a really good solid and maybe just go subscribe to Marie Tarot 504, it will be in the bio at the end of this video. Taggable, just click it. And I want to see her also get the confidence to move forward to get like a TikTok and maybe do some of her readings on there, which we all want to see that happening. So I appreciate you guys. If you're brand new here, I keep seeing, sorry, Tarch. I don't know where my lighter is. Okay, don't judge. It's orange, by the way. So where the hell is it? Thank you for the thumbs up. I see that. Thank you. I don't know if you're chatting, though. I don't see. Top chat? Nothing. Can't see shit. So say hi. But, oh, good. Good morning. Welcome to November. Thank you. Does it let me? Let's see. No. It doesn't let me do anything with your comment. I'm sorry. It's not fancy like StreamYard. But thank you for being here. I'm very much appreciate all of you viewers. Okay, let's go back to live chat so I don't lose ya. But yes, side branches. I like that name, by the way. So, awesome new project. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Guess what, side branches? Speaking of branches. So my friend, you judge me, you got issues. But my friend, let's call her Mac, because that's her name. She had a giant tree in the front of her yard that I always like want to steal the seeds from and get a new tree. Of course. It's my friend's tree. I want a tree. I want to share the tree. Okay, so anyway, the branch broke on the tree that I love. And it's huge. It's like 6.5, maybe 7. But it's bent at the top. Like it's willowing, you know? And it's not a willow tree. I want to say it's probably a cottonwood. I think it's a cottonwood. Anyway, so this branch. It's already snowed here in Colorado. We don't really have the bug issue. It's kind of gone. I'm going to spray it down. I'm going to paint it gold. And then I'm putting fairy lights on it. Yes, I'm taking the branch inside. I can't wait. But, so there'll be that project I'll be showcasing here most likely on my channel. Along with, other very cut off top bud and get, wait, we lost ya. We lost ya. It says, cut off the tip top bud and get a beautiful, canopy. That is very true. But I'm talking about a regular tree here. It's because I have cats. I can't really have like big ass trees in my living room because, yeah. Get it to root. No, this is a dead tree. I have actually propagated a cottonwood tree, but it was, what do you call it? Like a baby. So I kept it in water, it rooted, and I have it, I'll show you guys in an Instagram post and a community post at the end of this. I have that and a rose bush. Now, I never thought you could actually do that, but it does work. You can put honey on the end to stimulate the hormones, and then it will regrow. You can buy, what is it, Root Thrive, I think it is. Sampling? Is that right? Sapling? Yes. No, I absolutely love that Frankenstein moment when you can like break off a branch and get a damn full tree. I love that. I feel like it's a bacteria thing too, when you have a branch that can get any like fungus in the water, if there's any stagnation of any of that, that's when you don't get a healthy root. But if you can keep it in a clean environment with good water, usually actually unfiltered water. Oh, willow water. Never even heard of it. Actually, I heard something about there's I'll have to look into it. I don't remember exactly the plant it was, but there was like a succulent based house plant that you can cut, and it has such a high hormone base that it can basically root anything. So there are some plants out there that literally release a hormone, and it will tell the other stems to get sprouts going. Like rosemary, I've done clippings of rosemary before, and I used, I think it was Root Thrive. I might be wrong on that. It's a root starter gel. Stuff's incredible. Mostly for cloning I use. Or maybe it's called clone gel. Anyway, that's what it is. I've done that to rosemary, but I only was able to successfully do it in a deep water culture, like a 5-gallon hydroponic system. Because for some reason, some plants I've tried to do, any environment, I can't seem to get the roots. But roses, this, I think it's a red rose bush. It's either red or white. My friend's rose bush I took a clipping of. The roots, I just put it in a water bottle, kept it in the window for maybe a month, and it wanted to thrive. Now, this is way before, I want to say, like, beginning of September, and I'm in Colorado, so of course our seasons hit fast when it's finally harvest time. And it can shock the plant to go, okay, I still want to make flowers, you know? And so I didn't think it was going to make it, but it has, and I've kind of treated it like a bonsai. Like I've taken wet rags and wiped the leaves so that there's no dust, so that it still gets the oxygen, all that. I love plants. I can't help myself. Plants are the best. The new growth in the spring is the best. Yes! Yes! Okay, so this is the thing. I don't like growing with any organic, I like growing organic. I don't like using any newts that have any kind of synthetics. But I do like Mammoth products. Mammoth products are pretty fucking great. What are they? They're living, it's nutrients that have microbials in them that actually stimulate. But then I heard the other day from an amazing YouTuber, I actually shared out their, I think it's like Cannabis 101 or something like that. Anyway, or Cannabis Talk 101. Anyway, I will put them at the end of this video because that particular video I'm referencing is incredible, how they were talking about, like, sometimes you almost need to make that, it's kind of like it's called plant soup. I think that's what it's called. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Where you use, like, banana peels and molasses, and you kind of make that rich environment where it will start fermenting, and then you add that mammoth to it, and then it activates the whole thing. And then when you add it to your soil, it's not just a normal decomposition of all the bacteria, which you need your sulfate, your zincs, your all of that, right, for your perfect plant. But when you add the tea, thank you! I couldn't think of it. No, because us cannabis growers, we know about that, but then regular plant growers often only really rely on products you can get your hands on, or a regular thank you. You understand. Hi there, Pooh, aka DJ Brex. I can't access my StreamYard right now because I'm on the live, but if you can, guys, go click on his little thing. Go follow him. This man makes beautiful music. That's all I'm going to say. It's freaking bad. It's great. Oh, guess what? I put my keyboards up. I got my synths started. There might be some pop-up lives coming, Poe. Yeah, I'm telling you. It's a method that's like, yes, you can fail. Yes, you can burn your plant if you like, because what you do add also is even like Epsom salt, things like that. And if it's too hot, the soil is, and it literally means it's too hot in certain newts, a natural way of doing it. Oh, thank you. You're so awesome. No, you're so awesome. I'm going to use a bunch of your TikTok audio, so get ready, sir. You're about to have like the cannabis community all up in your TikTok, okay? Because we support each other. I need my fucking lighter, though. And I'm going to listen, guys. I'm one of those bougie ladies who doesn't like smoking a joint without a filter. And the filter I got is not being friendly. I made it too thick. So, here we go. This is a nifty little piece. Now, all the writing came off. But this is like a cannabis, or what would you call this? I think there's 14 things in here, including a pipe, which is just fucking crazy. Look at that shit. There's literally a pipe. And if you're one of them, I'm not one of them, but yeah. And then you've got wino, you got your knives, you got your roach clip. It's great. A friend of mine was like, you of all people, I don't know why you don't have one of these. Because I almost will not take a joint if I have to, like, burn my fingers, eat the bud, burn my nose. Yeah. I used to only use steamrollers back in the day. Well, it started off, okay, when I was smoking, when I was younger, and I was, like, partly, like, just experimenting for the medicinal side to see if it really worked. I really liked pipes, bongs. I hated joints. How do you keep it alive? This man here, I think you're a man, woman, person. What did you say? Hold on. Live chat. It says, my favorite pipe is almost 35 years old. I have a bong over here, but I'm not going to grab it. Another day, another time. It doesn't have water in it, but it's probably dirty. that a friend of mine gave from Vegas. That's it when it comes to the glass I have that I like treasure. Otherwise, I have a few pieces my friends have given me over the years, but again, I don't it's like that resin flavor isn't my thing anymore. And I don't like joint ends. I mean, I'll do it, but I don't want to. And I've always been the person that back in the day when you clean out your pipe, I didn't smoke it. I couldn't. There was no way that was going to happen. I maybe did that for like a year in my entire many years. Oh, well, thank you for being here, side branches. Sir, you got wisdom in those 60 years of your toking experience. So, like I said, I didn't ever think that I'd be one of those people to really like joints. Now, I don't really like blunts too much. I'll take them. I'll appreciate them. But I will try to not gag. But joints are just more my thing. Now, can I roll my own? I used to be able to. Like, the teenager version of me, yes. I use a roller. I like that it's consistent every time. Depending on if you have some like really dense bud. But otherwise, yeah. And I got those, what are they? The Kings. They're the raw cone king. Where you you squish the bud in there. Those papers take away all your medicine. It literally just burns so quick. You could spit on that bitch all day. It does not stop. And if you don't know what I mean, friends, in the cannabis community, when you have a joint that's running like just like that, you kind of wet it. I've been saying for a minute, where's the mister? For all of us frayed COVID people. I'm not one of them. I'm just saying, for the frayed peoples, where's our mister? Or our rolly ball to make sure it doesn't run. These things would be helpful. Just like hemp wick. Oh my goodness. Yep. Man, we have some major conversations coming. Speaking of that channel I mentioned earlier, they were talking about how the history of prohibition is just so enlightening. So I'm going to give it to the best I can because this thing needs to be talked about. It's so great. So great. Cannabis that we see today is a totally hybrid version. Whether you say it's indica or sativa, it is a hybrid version. It's generations of the genetics have went so far, far, far that now at this point, we're smoking something that's literally been bred for prohibition. It's quick plants, quick turnout. You're limited in your percentages. So, an indigenous to plant environment where our seeds came from, where thousands and thousands of years this shit would stagger its growth on a mountainside and actually get a harvest that was good for the people, which they didn't even plan that. God did. Okay? Birds and dinosaurs stepping correctly, I guess. I don't know. But facts are facts that we, prohibition, have changed the plant so much. We've made it medicinal and we've also made it we have made it recreational. Sometimes it's a better plant looking than it actually smokes. And then what is that? False advertisement. Some plants are more resin based than others. Sometimes they're bred to have a higher, what is it called? Have more keef, have more resin, have a higher percentage. Some are, like I said, bred down to have such low percentages. They're just about the elements of that particular bred strand, let's say, benefiting for particular things. Like a great example is Charlotte's Web. Even what was it we were talking about the other day? The sours, the sour plants, when they were bred, most of the time they were bred in environments, like I said, they'd reseed themselves. They would pollinate. People in the industry right now, in the breeder industry right now in 2022, are looking for old jungle genetics of cannabis. Why? Because they're gonna thrive a lot better than our autos and whatnot that often don't give you seeds, often are finicky. Certain strands are finicky, and like, I couldn't believe it. It's such a good point. In the sativa world of sours, they're one of those plants that the leaf structure nowadays, in the prohibition days, the structure you're going to know what to look for. But back in the indigenous days, when those sours were streamlined, being bred to be what they are today, like we're talking way back when they were real 1970s, you know, your brickweed almost looked better in brick, because when you saw the flower in general, unless it was on the actual plant, people weren't even sure what they were doing fully. This is just all a learning curve, and breeding was a whole thank you so much, Nikki. I just want people to understand this. Oh, you're so sweet. Hey, I try. You know, they never match. These eyebrows never match. Yeah, we get washed out in the low THC. Okay, so let's get mad together, because I'm allowed to be mad. I'm very mad. So you have these plants that now everybody is learned in the prohibition, because that's it. This is what I'm smoking, prohibition flower, okay? If we're going to talk about 1970s, even later, let's go back as 1920. If you were to see cannabis growing in 1920, that whole, it might have been the highest percentage you had naturally, but the flower may have been ugly as hell. The flavor might have been completely disgusting, but the proteins for that particular strand and that particular location in the world, okay, we've taken things that grow in totally different climates and we've bred them together, and we don't remember that, you guys. In the industry here, we don't remember. People who partake of the plant forget that we're really being limited by the government. If you really want to say it, in America and the rest of the world, we're being limited by, why were they growing these plants to be stealth grown quick? Well, because they want to turn it out quick before it was legal, right? Okay, so then you have Kush is one of the best examples of overbred, overdone. Okay, we took those terpene bases that we liked as people, but it could have affected the percentages, breeding it with certain things to get other elements from it. But like they were saying, this amazing podcast, I can't bring it up right here. I'm going to read your comment in a moment. Hold on, side branches, but let me just get this point out. So like the leaf structures that were in the old indigenous days, and all the seeds would just, like, I think it's so amazing, because here we are as breeders telling each other to stagger your growth. Go every 2 weeks so that you always are able to crop out over and over, whether you're inside or outside. Doesn't matter. Stagger your fucking growth, right? Okay. And clone from that mother plant. Okay. But there's a whole branch of people who have been growing for a long ass time where we're like, now when you get seeds, you can't depend on what we know history-wise, if that's going to be the proper way to grow that genetic, because unless you've got the access to know completely what those genetics were from as far back as your seeds go, or you're a good documenter, like for me, I want to say this, for me as a, where is it at? I can't grab it. I will make a separate video what I'm about to tell you guys. So I have it's a journal. It's velvet top, right? It's a regular journal you would write in. So since probably 2011, I think is when I started it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe soon or earlier. 2011 onward, and I grew, I cut leaves and I pressed them. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, because if you know what I know about history, there are always going to be genealogists, there are always going to be researchers, there are always going to be the old lineage that will find plant matter and be able to test that. I'm doing it so that it's, because what I write in the book, I put the seeds that I understand what they had from the bottle. So if I got it from a dispensary, I write all that information in the book. I press the leaf, I put the time, I say if it's in veg or flower. And then if I have the option or desire, meaning if the leaf is gorgeous and I want to press it, but I always press at least one leaf from every single grow. So that honestly, over time, I can even see if that generational leaf that I had down the line, how much did it change structure-wise? Did it get crossbred? Can I prove all that with the information? Now, us as growers, We take it for granted. We take it for granted. So eventually it will be completely federally legal. And at that point, you and I, normal people, are going to have to continue to share the knowledge like this. And that is why I'm very hard on you people who are like, I just keep my seeds together. Oh my, don't even tell me. Don't even tell me that. You're insulting me. Oh, you kept the seed, but you know nothing about it? Awesome. Selfish. That's the way I look at it. Since I have the first seed I ever got, I wrote every little bit of information. If it meant I had to roll up a piece of paper and stick it in the baggie. Because for me, as a person who uses it medically, I don't want to give a plant, even a crossbred plant to someone in the future that I feel wouldn't like it. Or me. I want to know what potential strands I can't smoke. So when I saw this interview that I'm discussing, parts of it, how they were just putting so much emphasis on us, really, there's no more fucking around, people. Today, genetics are, oh, what did you say? Hold on. Let me see. Okay, let me read your comments. I'm sorry, I keep getting off on a tangent. I'm going to go back a bit. Here we go. So, sidebar. Side branch. Thank you very much. Taking smaller hits. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's make sure I don't lose the chat. It says, all right. Taking smaller hits, keep cool, and it sneaks up on you. I know exactly what you mean. The best thing to keep the joint from running is to want, yep. Oh, but you know what? My friend told me that it didn't work for me. I've done the crumple thing. I don't know why. I have bad luck. I don't know. I used to inhale water. Like, I have a very strong hit, and I used to smoke cigarettes a long time ago. So, thank you, Nikki, for all your comments. We still get wasted on the lower... That's right! And, oh, we're going to talk about that. And smaller... The smelling weed, they can breathe out. The stronger odor... That's right! Oh, okay. I remember smelling and growing a block away, and my friend older brother back in the barn. Today's genetics are a crapshoot for herming too sensitive to stress over crossing the auto flower. Okay. All right. I'm going to annoy some growers out there, but you're going to agree with me. Give me a high five. Here it comes. So, I have never once grown and not stressed my plant out intentionally. Now, why do we want to stress our plants out? Now, I'm going to give you guys an example. If you baby a tomato plant, you're teaching the DNA in that seed to act a certain way, to need a person to baby them. All right. Now, if you take a cannabis plant and you bend, okay, we're going to describe it. Here's your cannabis plant, right? There's your little bun. I'm the tree. Okay. You take the branches, you bend them. You literally bend them. It's a cannabis plant. It's going to come back. It's going to be happy you did that. Because it's going to say, I need to work harder. Okay, I'm going to tighten my branches. You scratch them. You literally scratch with your nails. Get some of that green showing on that branch. Scratch it. Why would we do that? Because in the wild, that plant was known to have animals go by it, bugs eat at it. Next, bugs. Oh, let's use a spray, newt it out, and use our pesticides. Let's go ahead and just... Now we've just taught the DNA it needs it. Okay. Now let's use organic. Let's use, I don't know, essential oils, flour for your grasshoppers. They eat that, not the leaves. Doesn't hurt the plant. Doesn't end up smoking. It's perfect. Okay, depending on season though. Stress the plant out. Not feed it. Flush it a lot to the point then you just stress it out. What does that do? It trains the DNA of the seeds again. Then it becomes drought resistant. Why do we want to do that instead of babying all the seeds that we've done in tents and then we've moved them outdoors? They can flourish with all that light. But the other elements to it are so important. And I feel like as growers, in the small communities we are here on YouTube and other places on the internet, and all these threads that have been going on for freaking God knows how long as Mark Emery has been sending out seeds when he did. I'm so mad that he was put in jail as long as he was. Anyway, long story, another day. So these people that had all this effort and time to try to learn the plant in the genetic way, you literally are training a plant to thrive in certain environments. But if you take a seed and you stress it, it will do good in and outdoors. It will love whatever elements you give it extra, but it won't need the requirement. So yeah, it's not like you drain the pot of its entire nutrients and protection for pests and whatnot. No, but training a plant to be strong on its own is how we get good medicine out there, guys. And that's when we're bringing the genetics back to its traditional, indigenous, like, there are really drought tolerant cannabis out there. I've done it. I didn't even know I was doing it properly. I actually had bigger farmers that came and were like looking at my grow and going, holy shit, like you're using eggshells instead of this chemical and that chemical. And I say chemical because it's most of the time man-made synthetic. If you find an organic, as we were saying, side branches, the tea, your plant tea, if you find an organic way to go, then do it. I like to utilize things I have. And obviously, we're also changing the flavor of these seeds if you make it want something to thrive and not know how to do it on its own. So, the best conversation I had heard a long ass time regarding how there are all these growers out here who are like, don't stress your plant out, man. Baby that bitch. Yeah, okay. To an extent, is what I say. To an extent. But my whole point in that chat when I was listening, and they had seen my comments, you probably can see the replay, which I made a lot of good points regarding certain compounds. Like, I like Fox Farm for the back guano, but I don't really rely on their soil. I've used mushroom compost soil, has always worked excellent for me in flavor. But there are other growers out there who are like, how could you even do that? Then you have to balance it in this way. I don't use Miracle-Gro soil ever because that, I believe, has a lot to do with our cancer in the world. Seriously, not even kidding. Plus, they also heat their dirt, so you either are like, it's not killing all the eggs in the dirt. So you almost have to get, if you get soil that's got that time-released nutrients, it's just not good for smokable things. Even eating, I have learned because of the cannabis plant that I much rather eat when I make tomatoes and grow all the other fun things out there. That in no way does it make sense to like depend on a mystery nutrient that's in there. Ugh, that grosses me out. Let me see what your comment is. Yep, a good dry down, and then the terpenes are so much better, but before harvest, and then a good drink for satisfying the last week. You know, and it's funny you say that. Let me bring that back up a second. Satisfy the last week, and then slow dry. Yeah, okay, so that's right. That's a great point. It does encourage a better, when you're actually flipping it upside down and drying it out, getting ready for it to be harvested. Okay, yes, it makes the whole job easier. I have not witnessed a whole lot of mold situations other than when you jar it. Here in Colorado, I haven't had many issues with too moist of plants. In fact, I've seen full, literal dry but not cured. Like, you know, it's dry. It's ready to be now put into the jar for up to 2 weeks. I've seen that. It just depends on the strand, too. It depends on how much you did work that stagger down of flushing so that the plant's happy as hell to be harvested. Because a lot of the times, if you guys know what I'm talking about, or if you've ever experienced, or if you're growing yourself, or you're in the process, I'm sure side branches can agree with me, that the sun affects the plant and can burn it, but so can the soil. If you dry it out, of course they'll like kind of get tired and droopy, but the leaves, if you overwater, curl too. So as a novice grower, you may not know what you're doing, and then you end up removing those sucker leaves or overwatering or misting. I personally am somebody who loves to mist sucker leaves and stuff like that. I don't give a fuck. I know people don't agree with that, where you do kill off a lot of the trichomes on the outside, but for me, I like at the end, instead of feeding the water and the soil, I feed the leaves. I don't know why, but my plants always have been extra sticky. I don't get like, you know, a lot of harvest, you see the fuzz. I don't get that because I find like I'm washing it away for that last little clean, you know? But I don't touch my buds at the end of harvest. I like to keep them completely, I have them netted most of the time by that point. But I haven't been able to do a very large harvest in a long time, like about 3 years. So I expect my indoor grows to get more and more intense with you guys, showing you the process. And I would love input from all you growers out there. If you have little tiny tidbits of suggestions, the plant lets you know when it's ready. I have a relationship with every one of them. You spend enough time with them, you get to know them. Okay, so I was saying in the chat that I think tomato plants and all the other vegetables and flowers in the world, they're male plants. They're like male plants, okay? Maybe bisexual, okay? But a female, a real female, a whole straight up female, cannabis. Every girl is different. Every single girl is different. Even from that family. Like I've seen buds morph and hybrid on one side. Like literally they got less sun on one side, so they seeded out and became a completely morphed version and cross-pollinated from another plant, and it became like this monster plant. On one side physically looked different, and the other side full on healthy, thriving. The other side wasn't diseased or anything. It just genetically you could tell something had happened. And when we cropped that plant out, it tasted differently, which is crazy. But I've seen full on, like, I think the biggest plant I saw was like 10 feet tall, 8 feet wide, buds that were as like big as my leg. Better environment, microclimate. Thank you. That's true. But these people that were growing on that farm that I was talking about were using active living soil and mammoth, and I think it's like the one that has strep in it. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. You probably do if you've been growing this long. The active streptococcus in the ground. And I think my exposure to that farm is why I had strep for an entire year after 3 years being away from that farm. It's heavy duty chemicals. So now, and they used bud hardeners too, which I just don't agree with. It tastes terrible. It tastes terrible. It's the fact. It tastes terrible. And it's like you can't flush enough. It fucks up the terpenes in my opinion. That's my opinion. But they're beautiful buds, I'll say that. When you are over, it's Herculesing it out. That's not Hercules. That's not right. It's hulking it out. Jolly green giant, I tell you. Jolly green giant. Hold on 1 second. Better environment. Yep. I really appreciate all your input on this. Yep. So guys, I'm going to light this up, finish this out, and I think I'm going to head out. So like I said, yesterday, me and my son trick-or-treated with a friend. Wait, now, oh, I know, it can really, oh, yeah. Okay, so here's a good point. Fish guts, that soup stuff, I'm not a fan of fish newts for plants. I've tried it in my own vegetables and flowers, and I just am not a fan. I'm a vegetarian, so that doesn't even excite me, the smell. Fish super thrive, you know that organic crap super thrive destroys smokable moments. Let me think of the other product. Miracle Grow always makes your flavor taste like literal chemicals. Like if you got a diesel, you're not going to notice it, but anything else, you're going to fuck up the terpenes and it's going to be harsh and it might even give you a headache. It's like I like clean. Like I really like growing in water or in coconut castings. So like, let's see. Aw, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to get off myself. We're at the end of the joint. But if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, email me, RachelRawTruth@gmail.com, or leave it in the comments. I expect to be doing a podcast late tonight. If all goes well, I have a busy day today. So, oh, and I am working on that video soon. Don't worry. It won't be a live video related to the tinctures and the edibles I'm making, but it will be broadcasted here and premiered very soon. So I'll be in the chat so you guys can ask questions and things like that if you want it on the live. Other than that, you'll just have to stay tuned. Last month was very busy. This month is going to be even busier. I have, like, seriously, I had 5 different interviews right now planned. Last month it couldn't get done. This month it will. I have to buy some tires in 2 days. So that does mean, though, once I have my tires, I can do a little bit more fun things before the winter really kicks in. Because our snow has already melted. But anyway, guys, thank you for being here. Check out my previous videos I've been releasing lately. And check out my Instagram. All the link trees below. The link tree below. You can find all of these links. And until next time, guys, have a wonderful day wherever you're at.